I never in 1,000 years thought that we'd be seeing year 2 of this, but we are. And they are doing a lot of overhauling to it. So they're adding bigger ships for one, but the biggest and most surprising thing is, let me see if I can find it. They've added like actual sword fighting and swashbuckling to the game. Like what? This wasn't in the game at all before. Like what? Legal obligations still? No. What I think this is they want to have a live service version of Black Flag basically out and available for when the Black Flag remake launches later this year. So I think their whole goal is you play the Black Flag remake, you go, ooh, I like that. I want more of that to play with my friends. And then they say, hey, try Skull and Bones for free for a week. And they sell that to you on the side, you know, and then you jump into Skull and Bones. I think that's the goal. And to their credit, they actually are making massive improvements. Adding swashbuckling was something tons of people complained about when it first launched, that it wasn't there, and they're doing it. And you know what? Credit where it's due. That's cool. I appreciate that. You can see that they're doing things like land combat's not coming until season 3. So that's still a little ways out. I was thinking it was going to come out today. So we were going to like play it on stream was the plan. But it looks like that's going to come maybe like in the summer, maybe like August, September, whatever that may be. But yeah, then they're going to add the Kraken in season 4, new improvements, new ship, and that's going to lead into, hopefully for them, year 3. I think most of us, though, are expecting that they probably are going to have like the Black Flag remake launch right about here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have the Black Flag remake launch like right here while they're doing the Kraken launch event, and they just try to line them up. Wonder if this will actually boost player numbers. I don't think any of this stuff will. Item Ascension, World Tiers, Medium Ship, Schooners, Helm Empire Revamp. I don't think any of this really does much because it's just more Skull and Bones, but like endgame players are being served. Season 2, Megaforts, the frigate ship, that might excite some people, but again, that's more endgame stuff. Season 3, though, Rogue Warlord Officers and land combat. I think the land combat is what gets people to try it again. So I think you'll see player numbers be like flat until land combat, and then you'll see people try it and jump in. And I think it's not a coincidence that this is lining up right about when we expect the Black Flag remake to come. That's my guess. But yeah, there you go. There you go. It's happening. They're doing it. And again, credit where it's due. A lot of other companies just dump those games and abandon them. Like even like Suicide Squad has been abandoned already. You know, they pretty much launched it, got the money they could get out of the $70 copies, and just put out everything they had already made and just moved on. But Ubisoft, of all companies, is sticking with it, doing a second year of support, probably revving up for a third year of support, because they're going to try to capitalize on like pirate fans who play Black Flag Remake and are like, I want more of this. And if they can honestly provide an experience that's cooperative and similar in feeling to Black Flag, but in Skull and Bones, that I think can be successful. It's why I said like, the core concept of providing Black Flag, but you can play it with your friends as a pirate, like as a pirate crew or as a pirate empire, whatever. That's not a bad idea. Like Sea of Thieves is fun because you all get to play as pirates together. It's a good time. It's not a bad idea. Skull and Bones' problem was that it was horribly executed, and they got rid of all the stuff people wanted and kept all the stuff people were kind of on. But if they can add that stuff back in and provide an experience players do want, at the same time that they give them a taste of it with Black Flag Remake, fueled by nostalgia, I think that does find some success. That could actually end up doing well. But again, it's all about execution. Fantastic execution will never make a bad idea good, but bad execution will make a good idea bad. You know, it really will. Took them 15 years. Yeah, dude. I mean, took them a long time. Long time. Yeah, more support. I hope they just stick with it and don't abandon it so quickly. That's my hope. Because we've seen so many examples of games that come out and you're like, this could end up being really good in the long run. They just have to work on it and add a bunch of stuff. And then they just abandon it before it's had a chance. You know, think of if they had abandoned Cyberpunk. I don't think anybody would have blamed them. But it also, like, the fact that they didn't, I think, helped it a lot and won back a lot of goodwill with gamers as well. Imagine where they'd be with Concord if they hadn't given up so quick. That one is tricky because they were not just going to be competing with Overwatch. Marvel Rivals would have come out, and then I think a lot of people who were playing Concord would have abandoned it to play Marvel Rivals. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I think one of the big things was their post-launch support was mainly tied into these little cutscenes they were going to do every week. Except nobody gave a crap about the cutscenes because they did that thing where they just jump straight into the story in the middle of it and then don't really explain anything. And so you just get like a 90-second cutscene that doesn't make any sense to you. And that's supposed to keep you engaged until next week. And it just didn't work in concept. Remember, Herman Holst said he thought that that was a revolutionary storytelling technique. So like, I think it was always going to struggle because, again, it just was a game nobody really wanted. And the execution wasn't very, like, mechanically, execution was solid. The game wasn't buggy. The game ran well. The shooting was tight. And I can say that because I'm one of the few people that played it. But like, it didn't make the idea any better. You know, like I said, good execution can't make a bad game or a bad idea good. And bad execution can make a good idea bad. And in the case of Concord, it was solid execution on an idea that was just bad. It was like, we're going to just make Overwatch, but like kind of worse and less interesting. It's just, what are we doing?